Hey, graduates. Hey, what's up? What's up? My goodness. How is everybody doing? How are you all doing? My goodness, what a situation that is happening right now. What a situation. Hold on one second, guys, because I need to edit something. Give me one sec. How do I do this? Right. So y'all see what's going on? What did I miss? Just the absolute craziness. I could not believe that Trump did what he did. Guys, I mean, do you think that this is going to now be some start of World War III or something? That may I wonder more than anything else. That is what I'm wondering. Because how? Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year. Oh, okay, it's on. All right. I just want to make sure that I don't have any strangers chatting on this because you know how things are when things get political. Um, so yeah, we've had a little relaxed time. We've had a little fun. It's now back to serious YouTube business. Um, and you know, there are a few things I wanted to chit chat with you guys about. Um, but this situation in Venezuela really has me captured at the moment. He just love problems. I think him love more than problems. I mean, this guy, he's got this guy. Look at the state of the president of Venezuela, and he's taken a picture of him, and he's allowed this to go flipping viral, which is insane to me. Cause I'm just like, really? The man put him out, blindfolded, handcuffed. You understand? And I'm like, no, sir, I'm dead serious about this. I'm dead serious about this. A lot of people are saying that it's the oil. I agree that this is a large part of it. Someone was explaining to me, though, that it's a bit more than the oil, that it's really about a control of power and not wanting Venezuela to form any kind of collaborations with Russia and China, by crippling their power, taking over their oil industry. Basically, it means that they will not be able to build those relationships that will put the United States of America at a disadvantage. And you know, Venezuelans, they've got to remember they are American. Now, there's a split in the reaction. There are people who are protesting against what Trump has done. Those people tend to be in first world countries. But the Venezuelans who have moved to other Caribbean territories like Guyana are rejoicing. They are very happy about this. They're like, you know, finally, this man has been arrested. And the man not only arrested the president, and him arrest his wife too. Trump means business. That's all I know. First, he posed this thing with the green card. Now green card holders are gonna get biometrics applied to them. And this literally happened like what? Is it New Year's Eve or so? You know, just over the Christmas break here, he snuck that in. So all of the people with green card are gonna be getting the same treatment as everybody else. It's now become like a universal thing at all your airports. Trump really and truly really wants to go down in history as the one president that was not just a figurehead. He means what he says and he says what he means, and he does not care about being diplomatic about it. We've always known that United States of America considers themselves to be the arsenal of the West, right? And one of their biggest adversaries when it comes to weaponry is Russia. And Trump himself has said that he gets on well with Putin, but he obviously has to put America's interest first. And anything that could make Americans a target, he will go out of his way to eliminate. Happy New Year, Diana. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Phyllis. It is just absolutely crazy. So I was thinking about what does this mean for the Caribbean and the rest of the world. I came across this video and I thought it was really good. So I'm going to play it and we're going to just listen to it and have a little chit chat because they raised some key
More now
points.
on that breaking news, the United States capturing the president of Venezuela and seizing control of the country in a major attack.
To discuss what this means for America and the world, we are joined now by former Pentagon operative Tony Shaffer. Tony, thank you so much for your time this morning. This is, of course, a significant seizure of power. The United States launching a strike on a sovereign country, taking political control and snatching its leader. Tony, hasn't the United States learned lessons about so-called liberation from the past before?
Yeah, this is going to be something that's difficult to do regarding the peaceful transition of a new government. Right now, the opposition leader, Maria Machado, stated about 5 hours ago that she feels this is liberation. There are some places that believe that this is the best thing for the people of Venezuela to move forward, but to your
And that Maria, she really was she really was a almost like a little spy right there that was just waiting for her opportunity to step into the position that she's in now. She was so glad that this happened, wasn't she? I am pretty certain she must have been feeding them information.
We did this before. People tend to forget, but we did this in something called Operation Just Cause in 1989, where we invaded Panama, an actual invasion of the entire country to remove Manuel Noriega. Noriega was removed and tried and also spent something like 30 years in prison. So we have done this before. This is not the first time, but the path forward is going to be one that's going to be a challenge to make sure that things go correctly.
Tony, things like this are not done on a whim. So what sort of planning
No.
actually
bro,
goes
Shaka.
into pulling off a strike, particularly of this size?
So the technical term for this is a rendition, extraordinary rendition. It's when the military, using our tiered operations forces, that is the correct term for Joint Special Operations Command, goes in
He
to
really
support
is,
law enforcement.
Diana.
This was technically a law enforcement operation augmented by the U.S. Special Forces. And we used more than Delta. There's units which are even more secret than Delta that were involved. That's why the
Wow.
intelligence was so granular and effective. We knew down to how doors opened and closed, what direction they swung, and what Maduro had for dinner and everything. So this
Jesus.
took months to plan. We
Did you hear what that man said? He knew they knew what Maduro had for dinner. This is how detailed their plan was. Yeah, they knew exactly what the man was eating, what he was doing, at what point. They had their eyes on the prize, right? Listen, President Trump is not one to mess around with. I am serious. This guy, he really does not care about the potential of a world war. He is literally putting the interests of America first. He does not care about who gets in the way. This guy is serious. He's serious.
United States military rehearsed a lot. That's why it was so effective. With that said, the military planning and strategy that went into this will be studied. This was a use of military force to establish and move forward with President Trump's objectives of bringing Venezuela to the international community without Maduro in charge.
Well, Tony, as you just touched upon there, you know, the Trump administration, I guess on the front foot here, saying this is essentially trying to take down a dictator and this is all about narco-terrorism. However, how important is oil in all of this?
This part.
Oil has been something of a target from the beginning. As you know,
Yes.
President Trump started targeting the illegal shipments of oil. We're going after tankers. We're going after the shadow fleet. This isn't just about Venezuela. This is about Iran, China, and Russia. One of the things that's been kind of lost in the noise is Russia was part of this
Yep.
movement of illegal oil, and they were making all their money off this illegal shipment. So disrupting that was important, and the effects of that will go on well beyond our actions in Venezuela. But regarding Venezuela, Venezuela was not properly using the proceeds from sales of that oil for its people. That's why the people were poor. I know several Venezuelans who had their property seized by Maduro, and I think that's
But
why.
I'm not gonna lie, there has been a lot of real, terrible treatment of Venezuelan people. And that's why a lot of them end up in Guyana. You understand? Basically escaping the dictatorship. So it is true that a dictatorship is there. And it is also true that there's a lot of illegal trading of oil and also gold. Let's not forget that part. And Venezuelan government knows about it and they don't do anything about it. All this leakage of economy that can benefit the enemies of the United States is a priority in terms of security and protecting the American people, protecting your assets. So I see where it's coming from, but from the people's perspective, the approach, it's so antagonizing. It's like really confrontational. More Venezuela and Guyana than Guyanese citizens. Is the truth. Is a fact. It's a fact. And the whole of them right now, them a celebrate.
President Trump chose to act. Is it about oil? Absolutely. Will everybody profit? I'd like to believe so once everything is established to have a new government in place.
You say new government, but the plan at the moment, Tony, is that the vice president of the sitting government will take over. But she's come out and said that Venezuela won't become a colony of the United States. The opposition leader is saying this is liberation, but at this stage it doesn't look like she's going to step in and take charge. So is there actually a plan here for a transition of power?
There's been negotiations with a number of groups behind the scenes for about 2 months. The question becomes, obviously, which one can establish the most credibility with the Venezuelan people. There was one rumor, saw Reuters report that the vice president or now president had left to go to Russia. So there's a lot of chaos right now. I think it's going to take about 2 days to sort things through. But and by the way, President Trump said that Maria Machado would not be the one taking power. So at this point, I have to be honest, your guess is as good as mine.
Oh my
but
God.
I do know that there's currently negotiations. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, did say that they're working behind the scenes to establish a team that will come in to take charge of Venezuela going forward.
Tony Schaefer, thank you so much for...
So did she actually go to Russia? Did she go to Russia? What we should be very concerned about is him having the codes to the nuclear at his fingertips. Should he flip that switch, will all be obliterated into smithereens. And this is the thing, exactly. And having the juice, the power to do it. Oil is fuel at the end of the day.
Welcome back to Today. The United States has this morning taken control of Venezuela, with Donald Trump vowing to run the country after capturing president power from the US. What's Trump... look, if you can get inside Trump's head and answer this question, I'll be very impressed. What's his plan, David?
Yeah, look, I can't, but it's an extraordinary development. It's important that we hope that President Trump is transparent about making sure that the Venezuelan people will take control back of their country at some juncture. I appreciate the challenges the United States had with Venezuela and the war on drugs and drug trafficking.
Okay, she's still there.
But the sovereignty of individual countries is important, and it's important that President Trump demonstrates to the world that he will make sure that the Venezuelan people will be empowered to run their country, to look after their resources and to make those decisions themselves. That's the sovereignty that we enjoy here in Australia and every country should enjoy. So I think it's now important President Trump demonstrates that after what has been some extraordinary events overnight.
Amanda, do you expect Donald...
Now, I did come across a clip of what Donald Trump had to say with regards to the oil, which I will play for you now, because he has never hidden the fact that oil is a very significant factor in his decision. But let's listen.
Venezuela, for those, that illegal oil are already starting to suffer. What do you see as the future of Venezuela's oil industry?
Well, I see that we're going to be very strongly involved in it. That's all. I mean, what can I say? We have the greatest oil companies in the world, the biggest, the greatest, and we're going to be very much involved in it. We can't do something like this, and we're prepared. You know, we were prepared to do a second wave. We were all set, and this was so lethal. This was so powerful that we didn't have to, but we're prepared. We're out there with an armada like nobody's ever seen before, and we're prepared, and frankly, probably thought we were going to have to do it, but we were prepared for a second wave going in.
The country,
Land, oil rights, whatever we had, they took it away because we had a president that maybe wasn't watching. But they're not going to do that. We want it back.
You hear that?
They took our oil rights. We had a lot of oil there. As you know, they threw our companies out, and we want it back.
All right. So Venezuela threw out the companies, the American companies, oil companies, out of their country. And Trump said he wants it back, right? He wants their oil rights back, and he wants his companies back in Venezuela. So oil is definitely a big driving factor. It doesn't deny the fact that the Venezuelan president has got dictatorship tendencies, and that he has not been doing things to the benefit of the people in Venezuela, which is why so many of them have left. And at the end of the day, as much as it's madness, and it looked like madness, and a lot of people, the first thing they'll say is, you know, President Trump is a typical American. He's being a bully, he's interfering, and blah blah blah, and it's all about American resources and benefiting America. Do we necessarily want somebody in power that's taking all of the resources of a country and then making sure that only the wealthy benefit from it? And the same thing is happening in Guyana right now. So you see, let me tell you something. You see, like how Trump have him eye on Venezuela, Guyana next. Guyana next. Because the Guyanese, they've got a lot of gold and a lot of oil. And it's being misappropriated. Because despite all of that wealth of resources that Guyana has, there is so much poverty in that country. It's insane. And considering how wealthy they are with resources, they are celebrating, but do they think this will make them better? Well, the Venezuelans seem to think that this is hope, that this is going to be hope for them, right? This is going to be hope for them. A lot of them are looking forward to going back to Venezuela to start a different life, I guess. Just not for now. Right now, it's a very volatile environment. And President Trump, he was busy deporting people back to Venezuela. So now they're calling for that to be paused while things settle down in Venezuela, right? In fact, they're calling for Trump to allow people in Venezuela to come across the border, to come across, right? Because things are volatile there as a result of his actions. I don't know what his response is going to be about that when it comes to immigration, but I think Trump is not going to budge on that, because at the end of the day, a part of his agenda is making sure that all them foreigners leave. Yeah? All of them leave at the end of the day. Look at Marky Markland and what he's gone and got himself into, right? And right now, I'm looking at Marky Markland's arrest situation. And up to now, the exact charge has not been placed on his documentation, which is strange. The no charges showing up part is telling me that it's either that Marky Markland is going to be an informant or some mistake was made, one of the two. But either way you take it, for the FBI to come in on Marky Markland, it means that they've been observing him for a period of time. And they do not just swoop in to arrest people without having solid enough evidence that they can arrest you and convict you, right? And they do have a 95% conviction rate. So when you see somebody just as ordinary but yet extraordinary as Marky Markland getting swooped off to prison, just know say him have him eyes for everybody that he doesn't think deserves to be in the country. So I don't see Venezuelans getting a pass with them immigration, much less. Gold, manganese. Did I read that right? Hold on, I'm reading the resources. Bauxite, sugar, diamonds, and oil. I'm telling you, you know. Wasn't Ghana invaded by the US before, unless I'm mistaken? I don't necessarily recall that being the case. You should see the assets that those Indians, minister of the government in Ghana, have multiple houses in millions. Yes, yes. I mean, even just looking around on social media, there are some Guyanese that are stinking filthy rich. Stinking filthy rich. And in contrast, the poor are, you have some people who are very, very poor. Even how they treat the Amerindians, you call them, you know, they are on reserves. Them just dead about the place. I get and I take drugs and all sorts of something, and so little of the resources even get filtered through to them, much less. Consider how much money is in Ghana. Let's not forget Libya and Iraq. It hasn't made those countries stable or the population gotten richer. No. And this is one of the reasons why he also said that, because he says it's not just it's not just about Venezuela. It's also about these other territories that have got rich oil reserves, but yet they are being the money from it is being misappropriated. It's being used to fund terrorist activity. It's being used to fund illegal trade. It's making the coffers of the rich richer, and the poor people are suffering. It's not benefiting anybody. When he touted MAGA as his campaign slogan, this is exactly what he meant: strong arming smaller countries to take their natural resources for America. I thought Marky charges was real estate or eviction. Boy, these influencers. So based on what I have read, it has got to do with real estate fraud. Now, a lot of people are making assumptions, claiming that Marky Mark using some kind of fake social security number or whatever, whichever ID number that them use when it comes to credit searches, in order for you to get the credit pass in order to buy a house. Because he bought a house the other day, didn't he? And they don't really know if that's necessarily the fraud that was committed, but a lot of people are assuming that's the fraud that was committed. In the files, they brought up the fact that he had a failure to attend court, which is the FOA. And this was an issue, so there was a warrant out for him because he did not attend court. And that's not necessarily in his state, but that's out there, and that's now on his record as a part of everything. They mentioned that there was some connections to narcotics. I don't know. This is all, it's so cryptic. And I'm just like, why does the file read like this? And the dockets haven't landed on nothing. It's just there, right? So I don't know what is happening and whether or not he has any official charges, right? Or is he singing like a canary, like somebody said in the comments? Is he singing like a canary? He did purchase new property and host big dinner. Yeah, them call the white lady on him name too. Yes, they did, but it's not for those charges. Those are not the charges that he has. And you see, the thing is that people, you see these people who are influencers on social media and them showing, all this big wealthy lifestyle. A lot of them rigging it, Don't believe all of it. Some of them, they show you all this wealth and niceness. Some people, one of the tricks of the trade that they do is they purchase really nice things, use their views money, purchase really nice things. do up them house with it, and then when the camera come off, then carry them back and return them. Yeah. So only they're thinking that, oh my God, they must live in this really lavish environment and blah blah blah. And they literally only just fix at them place today, or them rub out them credit card, fix at them place, and then carry every blasted thing back. Yeah, return it all. Yeah, return and fake. Don't believe the hype. You better believe it. Don't believe the hype. Right? A lot of people that are living like that, especially in a big foreign. And you don't see them working. You don't hear that they have any corporate position or any promotional position. And promotion are really paid to that nowadays, because influencers are a dime a dozen. Me not lie. Right? You don't see them doing anything like that, and they're living lavishly. It is something that will make most people question. You understand? You know, see them a do nothing for said this is them earnings. Be it they do something occasionally that pays them well, or what. You just see them just a travel. You see them a do this, a do that, you know, and it's like, huh? Is it that you're on OnlyFans, or what is it that they do with the gay ones? Is it Grinder? You know, are you making money that way? Because like how? But I've never questioned Marky and his earnings, because I literally have never seen him work. Never seen him at any job or talking about going to work. I've only just listened to his commentary and found his content interesting. He's been funny and all of that. I never even know that Marky Mark clan got a new house until this whole thing came up. And then I started looking into the videos. You understand? Um, and then I saw the all white party Perry went to. And it's like, okay, I see the hype, and I saw other influencers doing videos showing themselves at the all white party in Brazil. But like, why you have to keep up with the Joneses though? Why keep up with the Joneses? If you genuinely can't afford it, like it's weird. Them put themselves in them in them basket where it cannot reach some of them. And like I said, I'm not talking specifically about Marky Markland. I'm talking in general, because I genuinely do not know what his charges are and how deep they go. A lot of them claim they are realtors. Jesus. Lord Jesus. So I don't know. I don't know what is gonna happen. But it is quite concerning with regards to Trump and Venezuela, and what that means for Guyanese people. Because listen, for one thing, let's talk about the shadow economy. Those people who were busy trading illegally with Venezuela, that have to go stop. Because bear eyes upon Venezuela and Venezuela's, borders, the ports of entry, are going to be seriously guarded. Any boundaries between them and other countries, particularly Guyana, they're gonna be seriously guarded as well. So it's going to be 10 times more difficult to get things in and out between the two nations, right? It's just not gonna happen. So some people are gonna suffer financially that were not necessarily doing things above board. It's going to become more and more apparent that they must struggle financially, right? This large scale strike that they did, it's not surprising. America has been floating around your waters. You know, look at how them bomb up the something there, the boat there with the Trinidadian people on it, right? And kill people. Just look on that, right? And we don't know if there was narcotics involved in that situation where that young man had died as well. We don't know if drugs were involved in that, and they felt justified to do so. They're saying that Trump is saying that no, there is no trade, no narcotics trade coming from Mexico into the United States, that him shut it down with his zero border approach that they're not allowed to pass. You understand? So, me no know. Me no know how it a go, but I know that a lot of people going feel the pinch. They're gonna feel the pinch. The poor Guyanese citizens are suffering and crying for help. Yeah, yeah. And the Venezuelans that are there are also draining Guyanese resources as well. So I'm sure some of the Guyanese people, them are go glad to see them go about their business if them choose to leave. Right? If they choose to leave. So their whole thing is that it was done as a part of counterterrorism. Yeah. Um, but what's the terrorism against? It's not against America per se, but they basically look at the illegal trade of oil as an act of terrorism against the world. Because who are they trading with? They're trading with countries that America considers to be a threat. Russia, Iraq, China. You understand? And on that basis, they're a problem to the United States because that's basically putting the United States, who is supposed to be the arsenal of the West, putting them in a position of weakness. Yeah? And they're not gonna want that at all. So basically, the team had gone in and entered Maduro's compound at about 2:01 local time, which is about 6:01 GMT. And the house that he was in was like a fortress, according to Trump. The US president had said that Maduro tried to get into a steel fortified safe place. He made it to the door, but he was unable to close it. So Maduro was trying to escape and he was running into this safe house, which is like a steel fortified safe in his property. And he made it to the door, but it was too heavy for the man to shut the door. Like, why would you make a mechanism like that that's meant to keep you safe and then you struggle to lock it? No, sir. So Maduro and his wife, they were then put on a ship and then on a plane, which later landed at Stewart Air National Guard base in New York State. That's just north of Manhattan. And then they were brought to the Metropolitan Detention Center, which is the federal facility in Brooklyn. Right? Now, despite doing that, there was the strike in Caracas. Lots of explosions and everything over there. I don't know if you guys have seen the video, but the videos are out there of that taking place. And that, as you heard from Trump, he said he was prepared to do a second wave. So if the first attack did not go successfully, he was going to go again. He was prepared to do it again, one after the other. No, sir. So, people, we're going to see a very, very different world going forward. Why? I don't even know if I should rate Trump or if I should fear Trump or if I should just sit back and just watch this man work. Because this guy is a doer. And I'm not saying that in a way like I'm necessarily pro Trump. I'm not pro any political leader. I think all of them are corrupt in some way, but he seems to be the most honest of them all. He's either an honest asshole or an honest leader. Either way you take it, he's honest. And I just wonder if he knows exactly what he's doing, because somebody can be that straight up crazy without knowing what the hell he's doing. They don't want the Venezuelan to leave. They want Trump to go and get those dictators out of Guyana. Hey, Valerie, I don't get it, but who is really going to charge them? I don't know. I don't know what Trump's plan is going forward at all, because that has to be handled very, very carefully, just like they said in that newspaper clipping. Because if things not done right, he can get off just on a technicality. Just on a technicality, he can get off. You understand? Just on a technicality. So they have got honesty and Trump do not mix it. I don't know. I don't think he hides anything. I think he's a little bit of a fridge. So I don't know. I cannot necessarily say he isn't honest. I think he's always been honest about his intentions. In other words, he may not necessarily be honest about how he plans to do things, like he sneaks in and does stuff, but he's never hidden the fact that he coming for Venezuela still. Um, so according to Trump, Rodriguez has been sworn in as president and has spoken to the US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, and told him, "We'll do whatever you need." Trump said she really doesn't have a choice. Murder for Samantha. I let the man say. She really doesn't have a choice. The country's defense minister, Vladimir Padrino Lopez, earlier claimed that the strikes hit civilian areas and said the government was compiling information about dead and injured people. Oh my God. He added that Venezuela would resist the presence of foreign troops. Venezuela's government issued an official statement denouncing the extremely serious military aggression by the US against Venezuelan territory and population in civilian and military locations. It accused the US of threatening international peace and stability and described the attack as an attempt to seize Venezuela's strategic resources, particularly its oil and minerals, in an attempt to forcibly break the political independence of the nation. So this is what they were talking about when they said that Trump seriously needs to make it clear that the Venezuelan people are going to rule their own country. Because otherwise it will look like Trump had a terrorist. Because you can't do something like this, keep their leadership in captivity, put nothing in place, and continue to keep him in captivity and then take over their resources. That's straight up bullying. Other Caribbean countries should take note. He can invade any country at any time. Yes, I was wondering why we're not hearing about casualties. What's happening with there is that the media is being censored. They're not going to put out anything that's going to make the president look terrible. It's all about Venezuela's resources. Absolutely. He's a small child trapped in an adult body. Oh boy. he is he I don't think in many ways President Trump does not necessarily have emotional maturity when he comes to his reactions. I'm not gonna lie, I will agree with that. But you know what? That childish brute force mentality is what seems to draw a lot of the American people to him. Like they think it's a naivety or I don't know, an innocence, because he doesn't necessarily hide how he responds. But it's also dangerous to me because there's a lot of like knee-jerk decisions. Like he doesn't care about the implications. Now, right now, will heap of flights canceled. Not just the Venezuelan, in the Caribbean, routes are being disrupted. People's travel plans are being interfered with. And as such, also the industries around flights, travel, and tourism are going to be feeling the pinch of this for weeks to come. So his decision has had a spill-on effect on the other neighboring Caribbean territories. And he doesn't give a shit about that. That doesn't matter. Not one bit. He might be coming for Canada. Hey, yeah. He might. But you see, I think once organizations or leadership decide that they're going to work alongside President Trump, he doesn't have a problem. Remember, he came to Jamaica. Well, he sent his people to Jamaica, and the whole point of that was to warn Jamaica about China. He had our prime minister basically listening to them tell the public that the Chinese are dangerous and that the Americans do not want Jamaica to trade with China, and that he thinks that the Chinese should be ousted and that Jamaica and America should build a firmer foundation. Now, after that press conference with American government officials, they deleted that part of the video where he was talking badly about China. Because remember, Jamaica more or less in bed, Most of our roads and everything were built by the Chinese. Our tolls are financed by the Chinese. And therefore, that's why you have to pay toll, because most of that money is going to them. You understand? Ghanaians, be prepared for what's to come. Yeah, they need to be. They need to be, because the Ghana will be that will be a territory that they will turn their eyes to next. Most definitely. But like I said, the PPP, they're going to just go straight in bed with Trump and not cause no problem, because them more about catching their own ass. They only want to make sure that they still stay rich. They don't care about the Guyanese people. As long as they still get their money, and they still living their high life, whatever happened to the masses, they don't give a damn about. That is what I can see will happen. Cuba and Greenland, boy, if them ever go in a Cuba, that is a whole wound they will be reopening in history, a whole wound. So Trump said that American oil companies would move in to fix infrastructure in Venezuela and start making money for the country. He said, we're going to be taking a tremendous amount of wealth from the ground, which would go to people in Venezuela and to the US. He added that they are going to be reimbursed for everything that they've spent. Hey! So the cost of this war, because I'm calling it a war, because it is, it's a war on resources. The cost of this is going to be borne by the oil industry and the money made from Venezuela. Everything that they spend, all the weaponry that they used, all the manpower that they used to go out to Venezuela and to stay on those waters will be paid back from Venezuela. Like I said, Venezuela did send call them. No, sir, this guy, he is not for real, is he? Smart, making money for himself. He just said Colombia better watch their ass. Jesus, he didn't. So anyway, this is the part of it now where the US will benefit over other countries, because he is claiming that the US is going to take control of the oil and that the US is going to sell the oil to other countries. So they're going to control the cost of oil, and the profit made from oil, and they're going to control which country gets what. You understand? Wow. I've never seen anything like this, guys. So anyway, I wanted to understand a bit more about Maduro and what he had been charged with. What were his actual charges? So U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi said that Maduro and his first wife, that's First Lady Celia Flores, they've been indicted in the Southern District of New York, and they've been charged with conspiracy to commit narcoterrorism and import the Big C, possessions of guns and destructive devices, and conspiracy to possess machine armory, you know the word, and destructive devices against the US. Bondi had wrote on X that they will soon face the full wrath of the American justice on American soil in American courts. Jesus. What evidence do they have of all of this? Oh my gosh. This is pretty serious. So he captured the people's country. Yeah, and that's exactly what he did. And should push come to shove, the PPP top brass gonna fly out and leave their citizens to become collateral damage. Talk the truth, and that is exactly what they're going to do. They don't care. They don't care. The PPP is going to be in bed with Trump. They got anything Trump say, as long as they get their cut, their slice, they don't give one toss about the people of Guyana. They don't care. I have been watching and listening to the different things about the government of Guyana now. And I can tell you that the PPP is pro progress, they say. Progress is modernization. Modernization is moving with modern decisions and times. And as long as money I make for them, they don't care. They don't care. They will sell out your resources as you can blink. It's sell out. You understand? Just like how a lot of our tourism industry, you know that a lot of our tourism industry in Jamaica now has been sold out to the Spaniards. There are Spanish hotels popping up all over the North Coast. Did you guys know that? Last time I was in Jamaica, which is last year, when I was driving past, going towards Montego Bay from Ocho Rios, going up to Montego Bay, I'm telling you the amount of new builds of massive hotels that are happening, and they're Spanish. Spanish. Our coasts are being sold out. You see how they're privatizing beaches? Everybody that is in leadership in the Caribbean islands who see advantage for themselves, they must sell out with things. They must sell out with resources. Exactly. We don't have nothing. It's all going. So that is why Trump is not too bothered about us. Because we are play ball. In one way or another, we playing ball. Yeah? You remember the shape of Florida, you know, and the Caribbean? And the metaphor is that the United States are pissed on the Caribbean. Yeah. Because, you know, that little, Florida or New York, one of them, that little long part there, look like one little tiddle. A people on the Caribbean. So them come to the Caribbean to get drunk, to exploit, to chill and relax. Yeah. They like having you guys at their beck and call for their dollar. So they don't really necessarily interested in the islands per se. The amount of resources they have there can really amass to the landlocked and seaworthy resources that are in Guyana and Venezuela. Because they've got massive bits of land and lots of resources. The mining there is exponential. They know that they can actually get real money out of those places in comparison to us. You understand? Me here say them find oil on the coast of Jamaica. You see how that go quiet? That probably sell out already, my loves. That gone. Florida, yes. Shaped like the body. Yeah. That's my state for the past 21 years. See, I'm so. Right? So anyway, me never understand why them arrest the wife, Celia Flores. Like, okay, fair enough, you went and took the president of Venezuela. What did the wife do to you, really? So First Lady Celia Flores, she was taken to the US and she was also indicted alongside her husband. But what I'm learning about her is that she held a number of senior posts in Venezuela. This includes Attorney General and President of the National Assembly. She is seen as a powerful political operator in her own right. This 59-year-old woman is known as Maduro's primera combatiente, which means first warrior, and is often pictured at his side during political public engagements. She was living under US sanctions just like her husband, which were imposed during Trump's first presidency. This man, he does not forget. I told you, he does not forget. And that's why I said there is definitely something to be said about Trump's honesty. His intentions were always made clear. Anything that this man has not completed in his first round, he coming back and he completing in his second with a vengeance. I literally think he sat down and he just made a list and he goes, when I was in presidency before, I said I was going to deliver on X, Y, and Z, and I never got to do it. These are priority. These are flipping priority. Okay. So anyway, so these sanctions, they were imposed during Trump's first presidency, and these were based on the allegation that she was involved in Maduro's corrupt practices, right? So this wife, she is a lawyer by training. She once fought for the release from prison of Hugo Chavez, who tried to seize control of the Venezuelan government in 1992 and later went on to become the country's president. Her career became forever linked with Chavez's movement. So Florence, as the head of the National Assembly, was not without controversy, including her decision to prohibit press access to the parliamentary chamber. And she has been accused of being a nepotist. So she stopped press from coming, you know. So then you know worse than Andrew Holness' wife, man. Because at least Andrew Holness allow everybody to see what going on in a parliament. You can't do that. That's supposed to be to be given public access. So you see what I'm talking about when I say that there is evidence of dictatorship. Why is it that the masses can't see what decisions are being made and by whom in their parliaments? Anyway, so they basically saying it's Bonnie and Clyde, right? So him have to arrest the two of them. Because she's a part of the whole thing. She know what she a do and him know what him a do. Poor wife. They probably just wanted the wife out of the way to have full control. Yes. Yes, the Grand Palladium in Hanover is Spanish owned. Yes, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Everything is just being sold out right under your nose. And because these decisions are being made by the people at the top, by the time the public knows about it, it's too late. The paperwork has already been signed, and legalities are far more important than brute force. Because once it's written and signed in blood, you cannot do anything about it, and you can go outside and you can make noise and you can protest and you can whatever. And it still would not change a thing. Because you are not a part of the 1% who makes these decisions. You understand? So right I know. Venezuela, the people of Venezuela, they are collateral damage. I'm so shocked that there has been no mention of the fatalities. You know what I'm saying? No mention of the fatalities. Because it coming like say it no matter. Coming like say it no matter none at all. So this is an update just about 3 minutes ago. I'm gonna just tell you what the live reporting is saying. So the Venezuela High Court has named the vice president as the interim leader. Okay, so she has gotten it. So Delcy Rodriguez, who has been serving as Maduro's vice president, will assume the role of interim president. The High Court says that by putting her in the position, it's important to guarantee administrative continuity and the comprehensive defense of the nation. The court will be debating the matter to determine the applicable legal framework to guarantee the continuity of the state, the administration of government, and the defense of sovereignty in the face of the forced absence of the President of the Republic. They are still awaiting confirmation that Maduro is at the detention center, which is where he was supposed to be transported to. Now, this applies to him and the wife, because as far as they know, they were being transported to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn via helicopter. And them still not getting a confirmation that they're at the facility. Hey, watch Trump divert the helicopter, go run a one place or one part, and seat Madam and Sir in our room and start killing with peer leak. No, sir, because I don't put it past him to do something like that, you know. I do not put it past him to do something like that. Because I know them cannot get confirmation. And this is 2 minutes and 34 seconds ago. That man hold grudges. He does. He does hold grudges. You better believe it. Hi, Arlene. So they're still waiting for the official confirmation that they're at the facility. So let's have a look and see what else here. They had reposted a video reportedly captured in the DEA headquarters in Manhattan. And it says that this shows Nicolas Maduro being perp walked. This is so disrespectful. Like, why would you show a leader of a country doing that? Okay, somebody's just sent me a video of the Venezuelans celebrating in Guyana. Wow. What a whole heap of them. Roma drink, drummer beat in Guyana. The Venezuelans, them are very, very happy. They're very salubrious. They're very, very happy about what is taking place. So nobody thing say, we over here might be going, oh my God, how dare Trump do something like that? This is brute force. This is terrible. This is not diplomatic. There is no peace. The Venezuelan people, what they in a different countries, I big up Trump. They're very happy about it. Every country has opposition, correct? You know, so here, I mean, the images I'm seeing here of Venezuelans actually showing that they're supporting our Venezuela in America. You know, Venezuelans that are in America. People, I don't know, this is not good. This is not good at all.
This border between Colombia and Venezuela is one of the most active places you could find, even on an early January day like today. This is why the absence of noise, of motorcycles, of commerce is understood here as proof that Venezuelans who come daily to shop in Cucuta are waiting to see what will happen in their country. Colombia is the most affected country by what happens in Venezuela. 1/3 of the 8 million people who have fled the country are on this side. So whatever happens in Venezuela will show its first consequences
in Colombia.
Then you have the fact that the president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, is a major critic of Mr. Trump and has rejected Maduro's capture as someone who allows drug trafficking and has actually threatened him with someone similar to what happened to Maduro. Now,
but tell the truth, people, Colombia is not any better. Colombia is known for the trafficking of narcotics. It's known for it. And they have done very little to actually stop it. So with all that we are saying, is Trump wrong to go after countries like this and to put them in line? Because all of them drugs are seeping into the United States and affecting you know, your people. It's affecting them. So, and it's not just the United States, because obviously they also trade with Europe. Yeah? They also trade with Europe. So is he wrong to take this stance after generations and generations have passed where these things exist? Yeah? The narco-terrorism.
Bear in mind that the situation of the border is, over the last decade, illegal groups have proliferated and gained influence. There are guerrilla groups, paramilitaries, drug traffickers who are stronger than ever. And now it is likely that they will act at least as authorities, or they could come into conflict with one another.
Yeah.
This is something that we have seen before here, and it is something that will happen and will get worse if there is no robust plan for a transition of power after the capture of Nicolás Maduro.
Wow. I don't think he's wrong for going after dictators, but I don't agree with stealing their resources. I completely understand. But you see, Trump is a businessman. And he knows if he just leaves those resources behind, it may just fall into another set of hands that might misappropriate it. So sealing the resources off for the United States, it does look like, you're stealing stuff that doesn't belong to you. But if he leaves them with that, who is going to ensure that America continues to be placed at an advantage? So he doesn't care how it looks. He just knows he's doing it for the benefit of Americans. It's a very, very aggressive approach. And I know he's going to be condemned by the United Nations for this. But Trump don't care. Trump sure will say him no business, He doesn't care. He has 34 felony charges and is not being prosecuted in his own country. Therefore, he has no moral authorities to go after anyone. Well, that is true, but being the president just kind of puts those things at bay. You know what I'm saying? The 34 felony charges, they're not gonna get angle. Remember, say him did tell you, say him I go fire some of the people them what did put them charge them against him, if them not gone already, right? So yes, guys, we're going to have to just pray for Ghana, for Venezuela, for the people who are caught in the crossfire, because it's really the masses going to suffer for these people's decision-making processes. Look, we have civilians that have already passed, and them not even counted or referred to in major newspaper articles or newspaper news videos. Them not mention the number. This is how much they are collateral damage where Trump is concerned. The guy does not give a damn. Anyway, we're going to keep an eye on certain things with this. And I'm back to my regular hard talk on Monday, where I'll be dropping my videos and talking about certain things. There's certain things I want to talk about when it comes to the assassination of the 4-year-old in the recent police or soldier raid in Jamaica. That is so disgusting. And I've been noticing that I'm not seeing much of a response from Andrew Holness. Mega come talk about that as well. And anything else that comes up with regards to this. Big up on yourself, guys. It is really late here in the UK. It's like 2:50. Ha! I am up late tonight. I will talk to you guys soon. And I hope you guys have been following the Twisted Tales with K page, Only need for go over there and subscribe if you have not subscribed already. If you don't know what the page is, go in my comments on my community posts and you will see that. Because 2026 graduates is the year of creativity. And we're not coming to argue with a soul, We're just going to take them, turn them into content. Okay? That's how we're handling it for 2026. Bless up yourselves. Talk to you guys later. This is your girl, Head Teacher K, and I'm out. Bye.